A cold case finally solved. The torso of a man discovered in Barrington Hills went unidentified for 4 decades until now.
Until one Northwest Suburban Police Department utilized new technology to help bring closure in the 44-year-old mystery. WGN's Shannon Halligan here to explain. Shannon.
Yeah, this was the 5th torso discovered in Cook County over the course of 16 months. At the time, investigators did everything they could to identify the bodies, but only one was ever identified. Now, Barrington Hills police have given a man who was 27 at the time his name back.
August 5th, 1979. A startling discovery in this quiet Barrington Hills neighborhood.
It was like, oh my God, how could somebody do that to a human being?
Al Schold was the chief of the Barrington Hills Police Department at the time.
It was on a Sunday. I was cutting my lawn at the time when I got the call, and I come out, and it was just like chaos right after that.
A person on horseback riding down Old Dundee Road had stumbled upon a human foot.
It was hard to recognize, for one thing, because it was burnt. I can still remember the smell.
Police shared these photos from the scene when they were called to the wooded area about a mile down from Route 59 and Dundee Road. Officers discovered a decapitated body that had been burned. The person's head and arms were missing.
The upper torso, then the bottom part of the torso, and then the legs were there, but there were no hands or head or nothing like that.
After examination, the Cook County medical examiner estimated the man was around 30 years old and about 5 feet 8 inches tall. Police combed through missing persons reports trying to find a match. But without any identifying characteristics, the body remained a John Doe. It turned out this wasn't the first time investigators unearthed remains like this.
It was just like chaos right after that. It went international. It was a flurry.
News articles included in the Barrington Hills police investigation showed this was the 5th torso found in Cook County over the span of 16 months. The torso of a man was discovered in a Glencoe lagoon in April of 1978. 2 months later, a woman's decapitated body was found in a canal in Lamont. August of 1978, Calumet City law enforcement officers found a woman's torso in a grassy area. Just a month after that, a man's torso was found in a forest preserve, also in Calumet City. And then, Barrington Hills. Of the 5 remains, only one person was ever identified.
But nothing ever gelled together.
Barrington Hills police kept going back to this box, filled with evidence collected back in 1979. Last year, officers turned to Othram, a private company that uses genetic genealogy to try and find a match.
As the first private lab in North America that exclusively generates human ID from forensic evidence. And so we specialize in taking crime scene evidence, be it DNA from unidentified human remains like this case, or suspect DNA from a criminal case.
Michael Vogan with Othram said Barrington Hills police sent some items containing genetic material to their Dallas lab. While the FBI utilizes the Combined DNA Index System, or CODIS, that system only contains profiles from convicted offenders, unsolved crimes, and missing persons cases.
A lot of folks, particularly unidentified human remains, are not criminals, and so they're not going to be in CODIS. And unless you have a very close relative in CODIS, like a parent, child, or sibling, those 20 to 24 markers, that's what they pick up, are very close relationships.
Vogan said their scientists successfully extracted enough DNA to build a genetic profile. Using larger databases with public profiles, genetic genealogists were able to build a family tree. They traced relatives to narrow down a possible identity for John Doe.
I don't know where he was those 3 days.
It wasn't long after Linda Gressick's phone rang.
And all my husband said was, it's the Barrington Hills Police Department. And just like I got a chill. I just knew right away that that had to be something to do. You make me cry already. I just said right away to the detective, I said, "You found my brother, didn't you?"
For the past 44 years, Linda held on to memories and the small hope she'd find out what happened to her half-brother.
But I always knew it was my brother's bear from the time he was born. And this is one stuffed animal that I kept forever.
Joseph Civa disappeared in August of 1979. At the time, he worked for Chicago Streets and Sanitation.
He was gone for about 4 days when we started to realize something's wrong. Well, my dad started to realize that something must be wrong because he didn't show up at work. It was 4 days past his paycheck and everything, which would have been on the 1st.
Linda said her family searched for her brother and didn't immediately fear the worst.
I would say at least 2 or 3 weeks after he disappeared. They probably were holding out hope that he was staying with a friend or something like that, because that was his nature. You know, he might have go stayed at a cousin's house or something, so they probably were holding off, and I think then they finally went and filed the missing persons report.
Linda lives in Western Michigan now.
His mom was a nice lady. I remember her. I remember meeting. I knew where she lived, everything, you know.
But she spent most of her life in Chicago.
We grew up in the city in Chicago. We were like around Diversity in California. Right now I'm looking at a picture of Joey when he was in high school out of his yearbook.
Joe Civa attended Gordon Tech for a few years and later enlisted in the Marines. Linda said her brother enjoyed playing guitar as a member of garage bands.
Joey was very good looking, yeah. And he had a great personality. He could sell you anything. He was pretty sharp.
Investigators asked Linda to submit her DNA to Othram to confirm their suspicions. The results were a match.
Like in this case, they were able to confirm who this DNA belonged to and give some answers to a family that's been waiting a while.
Finally, providing some closure more than 4 decades later, but not a full conclusion.
It's like a closure, but who knows what it might spur up. You never know.
Yeah, it's really unsettling. It's very unsettling. I thought I was okay with him being gone, and I know everybody's goal was closure. It seems like less closure now than there was before I found out. So I'm hoping to just find out more of what happened and everything.
Now that Barrington Hills investigators have been able to give Joseph Civa his name back, they're hopeful this can provide new clues in this cold case. If anyone knew him and remembers anything from that time period, they're asked to contact the Barrington Hills Investigative Unit.
What about all the other torsos that they found?
Right, so there were 4 other torsos, one of which was identified not long after that time period, but there are 3 other torsos that still could lead to more clues, possibly using this technology. That's, you know, maybe the plan.
Yeah, crimes to solve.
Yeah.
Thank you, Shannon, for that.